and welcome to the how-to video for the dog treat baking kit class. My name is Beth and I am the Pueblo County 4-H and Youth Development Coordinator in Pueblo, which is a southern county in Colorado. So this video shows you how I put the kits together. It involves snippets of my recorded session with my youth to see how I did it. It walks you through my trivia game, and then also how to do the army crawl activity that I encouraged my youth to do with their dogs while we were on camera with their finished baking treats. So I'm going to walk you through all of that, and this is just the beginning part, so please watch this entire video. And if you have additional questions, be sure to reach out to me through my contact information, which can be found at the top of the lesson plan. So what I have here is I have the brown paper sack, which has all the baking ingredients in it, besides the 2 large eggs that are listed on my recipe card. Due to the eggs being able to be spoiled, I didn't feel comfortable having those in the bags and not knowing exactly how those bags were going to be stored when the youth received them. So that was the only item that I did not put in these bags. Everything else is in there. I just separated everything out and measured it for them already into Ziploc bags. Then along with that, they have their recipe cards, which you can see the example of this on the lesson plan as well. And this was just folded up in here, and then it was folded over and stapled. And then what's nice with the way these puppets are is if you open the bag, it sits right on top of it and slides over so that it's one cohesive unit. These items are not something that ships well. If this is something you do need to ship, I would suggest you lay your puppet flat like this, keep the recipe card flat, and then maybe just put all the ingredients in the box or whatever it is you're mailing to your youth if they're not able to come and meet you or pick up the kits in another direct way outside of it being mailed to them. So that's what I have for that, and then please watch the rest of this video to see further steps on how to implement this curriculum plan. So before I show you the game and everything else that I did in this how-to video, I'm going to show you what I actually did during the baking step time of this lesson plan. So first thing I had them do was take off their puppet and put that to the side because that's not until later during the baking time, and then get all their ingredients out along with their recipe card. And what's nice about the recipe card is that no matter if your youth loses internet connection or gets kicked out of the Zoom meeting, they can still follow along with exactly what you're doing and still be able to finish the activity, and then they also have this as a resource if they would like to do this again in the future. So first step, as always, is to preheat your oven. For this particular one, it's at 350 degrees. So I go ahead and let my youth have a bit of time to go ahead and get that going. If they're already in their kitchen, I make sure that there isn't anything else on their stovetop, because as their stove starts to heat up, it does get hot on the top of most stoves. So outside of their baking sheet, I don't want them to have anything else on there that could potentially burn them or melt. And then we went ahead and started working on our baking stuff. So then I had them take out their materials. We walked through the steps of the recipe together and put everything together. I also gave them time to give their extra ingredient, which is eggs, because there wasn't a good way to do this ingredient without letting it spoil in their bags. So that was just something that I had to let them have time to get, along with all of our extra supplies that are listed in the lesson plan. I also made sure that my computer was here in my kitchen with me so that they could see me and hear me. And then what's nice is that my computer has a movable camera, not a built-in one, so I was able to move the camera so that they could see just my hands or whatever else I needed them to see, instead of me just lecturing them or anything like that, because I walked through this and did this with the youth in real time so that they actually felt a connection with it, and they could see that I was using my motor skills along with theirs. So that was just a fun thing to do. And then to also make it a more fun atmosphere, I talked to them about what their favorite Disney movie is and chose different movie soundtracks that had to do with those movies and had them playing in the background. So it was something to get the kids singing and moving along as they were baking, where it's a more fun atmosphere, simply because with all this virtual programming, a lot of times there's a lot of rules and regulations, how to be on Zoom and interact and things like that, and I wanted to give the youth an opportunity to just take a breath and enjoy being involved with other 4-Hers. So singing has proven to actually help with your stress levels. And of course, who doesn't know any Disney songs? I guarantee even some of you watching this video know at least possibly a Frozen song. So it's a great way to get the kids moving and singing and just kind of being active while they're baking. So this is how I set it all up, and then once we got everything into the oven, then we used our puppets here to play our trivia game, which again I had with my camera, and I made sure to do it here in the kitchen so that I could keep an ear out for the timer, and they could do it as well while they were waiting for their timers to go off as well. So that's kind of how I set this up, and now I'll walk you through what the trivia game looks like, how I set that up, and then if you have any questions, feel free to email me at the address that's listed in the lesson plan, and I'll be sure to answer any questions you may have. Thanks for watching. In this muted snippet from my recorded session, the big highlight I wanted to show you is on the dough consistency. Please focus on what my batter looks like. I am in the middle top screen with the black, white, and red apron on. My camera is tilted down so the youth can see my hands and follow along. This also helps them see my mix and make sure they are getting the correct consistency. As you see here in this snippet, you want to add in all the ingredients and have the members mix it up. If the mixture is still dry and has a powdery look to it, you will want to add half a cup of water and mix again. You will want to keep adding half cups of water until your mix is sticky and holding together. The key part here is to not add too much water where your mixture becomes like a liquid and won't hold itself together. You want the batter to be sticky and wet, not soupy. Okay, so everyone, this is my dog treat baking trivia game that I put together for my baking class activity. And again, I used that site known as Trivia Maker, and you can also see this site on the lesson plan on the link part at the beginning part of the lesson plan. So this time around, I picked a grid type of list trivia game that plays, and as you can see below, I can set up questions. I can choose the number, and then I can choose the number of answers, and you can pick which one is correct and then a further explanation. And you can add photos and videos if you would like, so that's really nice. And then I will walk you all through what the game looks like entirely. The other part here that I want to mention to you is that if you are going to play a game with your youth, something like this that has sound, you're going to want to share your computer sound, which you have to do on the settings part when you are the host or co-host of the meeting. So I will hit that button so you all can hear the music of it. So you hit play, you hit launch game. And then that music is normally like super loud, and most of the time the youth have a hard time hearing you when you share the sound for the music because it'll play the entire time. So I always push the mute button just so that they can hear me. Then what happens is for this particular one, I broke up my youth into different named teams. So we have the Corgis, the Labs, the German Shepherd, the Boston Terriers, and the Golden Retrievers. So here would be our first question: what breed is shown in the picture? You can hit your tab button. It'll give you your options that you programmed. It gives you the correct answer, and then you're able to select your team. So for example, if the German Shepherds were the one who got this right, I would give the points to them and they would get it, and I would also give them a clapping sound. And a fun little heart one as well. There's also a timer option on here, which is what this little clock is, and it'll just give you a countdown if you were wanting to do that. And then what is really nice is you can go through all your questions, and then if you push this button here that looks like a trophy cup, again tell you who won. It'll show the runner-up and how many points they got and play that music as well. You can do the clapping sound again and the heart. And then if you push the door button, it will just take you back to your main screen where you can edit the game and do everything like that. I did edit this background picture, which is in the settings. So you would just scroll down, you go to, I believe it's actually customizations, and I just changed the background image to the one I made for my trivia game, just so that the youth knew what they were playing and why. So that's kind of what I did, and I used the dog resource handbook that we use from Ohio State University that our dog youth have as a manual, and that's where I got most of these questions from. Some of them do have to do with the kit itself, such as the pumpkin question here, or the question of why do we use whole wheat instead of regular white flour in the mix, and things like that that have to do more with the activity than anything you would find in the manual. So that's how I put that together, and you're more than welcome to use a similar site like this, or you can use Kahoot or other ones like that just to make it a bit more interactive with the youth for their trivia. And that's how I put that part together. Hi everyone, so I'm here with my dog Coxie. She's a 7-year-old Kelpie mix. So now I'm going to show you the part about the trick we're going to do with the youth that is called the army crawl. This trick actually helps their dogs build on their foundation of their sit and their lie down. It also helps with voice commands and just overall control of their dog listening to their owner. So I have some treats here that I've cut up into small pieces in my hand, which my dog is aware of, and then I'm going to show you step by step how to actually implement this with your dog if possible. Have your youth follow along with you. So what I did is I showed them how to do it first with my dog, and then I had them go one by one on the camera and see how far they could actually get their dog to do the army crawl as well. So let's go ahead and now I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so now to start this trick, the army crawl, what you're going to want to do is have your dog start in a sitting position. This is the easiest way to then transition your dog into a lay down. I'm starting in the front of my dog. You can also start from the side, just as long as you're able to get in front of their face is the goal. So I have her in a sitting position. I'm going to ask her to lay down. And then
this is my finished product of the dog treats. Some youth did have cookie cutters they used with their dough, which created the different shapes they had at the end of it, and I did. This kit class was a great activity for my 4-H members, and I hope your members enjoy it just as much as mine did.
So that's what I've done. My dog is very familiar with this trick, so she's very good at it. She can crawl long distances. Most of my youth, when they did this, their dogs mostly kind of just wiggled, and that was about as far as they got. But I still gave them praise, made sure that they understood this is something you need to work on consistently with your dog. It's not something that happens overnight. So all of my youth had a great time. They had a great time showing off how well their dog could do this trick, or had fun at least trying it out. So this is a great one to do with your youth and gives them something to do with their dog on camera with all their other 4-H members. Thanks for watching.